Hey Noah, hey Bailey, it's time for your story tonight. All right, our story tonight is going to be called, it's about monkeys again, it's called Caps for Sale. This was one of my favorite books when I taught kindergarten. Kids love it. All right, so it's Caps for Sale, the name of the book. It's the tale of a peddler, some monkeys, and their monkey business. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First he had on his own check cap, and then he had a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, and then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top he had a bunch of red caps. And he walked up and down the street, holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. And as he went along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." Now, one morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up at the street and he walked down the street, calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that day. Nobody even wanted a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," said he, and he walked out of town, slowly, slowly, so as not to upset his caps. He walked for a very long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," thought he, and he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb his caps. And then he put up his hand to feel if they were all there. First his own check cap, then the brown caps, then the gray caps, then the blue caps, and on the very top were the red caps. And they were all there. So he went to sleep. And he slept for a very long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. Do you notice anything wrong in that picture? But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure all his caps were there. And all he felt was his own checked cap. He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. Then he looked up into the tree, and what do you think he saw? On every branch sat a monkey, and on every monkey was a gray cap, a brown cap, a blue cap, or a red cap. That's where all these caps are. The peddler looked at the monkeys, and the monkeys looked at the peddler, and he didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. And he said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, "See, see, 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 see." Can you say that with me? See, 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 see. All right, when I do the monkey part, I want you to help me out. This made the peddler very angry. So he shook both his hands at them and he said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only looked at him and went, "Zi-zi-zi-zi-zi-zi-zi-zi." Now, he felt quite angry. He stamped his foot and he said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped their foot back at him and said, "Zi-zi-zi-zi-zi-zi-zi-zi." Let me fix the camera. There we go. By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry, and he stamped both his feet and he shouted, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped both their feet back at him and said, "See-see-see-see-see-see-see-see-see." Well, at last he became so angry that he pulled off his own check cap and he threw it on the ground. And he began to walk away. But then each monkey pulled off his cap and all the gray caps and all the brown caps and all the blue caps and all the red caps came falling down out of the tree. And so the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First his own check cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and the red caps on the very, very top. And slowly, slowly, he walked back to town, yelling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." So, have you ever heard of monkey see, monkey do? And that's what Bailey's doing right now. She sees you do something, she does it. So she's like a little monkey right now, imitating you. So be careful what you do, Noah. Don't do anything wrong or do anything bad and teach her bad habits, because she'll do it. So that's the end of our story, Caps for Sale. All right, you can watch this video again and again and again. So I thought I'd try a video tonight, so that way you can watch it other times if you want to. All right, love you all. Have a good evening. Bye. Bye-bye, Bailey. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Bailey. Bye-bye. Gigi says bye-bye.